17 rebound effort on opening day, and BC starts an all-freshman backcourt. Olivier Hanlon at the point, and Joe Rahan is the two guard. Scott Drew, the coach of the Baylor Bears, took them all the way to the Elite Eight in the NCAA tournament a year ago, has had great success, over 100 wins in the last 4 years. And Isaiah Austin, his multi-talented freshman who injured his ankle on opening night, did not play in the second game of the year, is indeed in the starting lineup. It'll jump center against Dennis Clifford, and Austin might be the best freshman big man in the country, Jay Williams.
He's so versatile. You can utilize him in a pick and pop scenario. You can put him on the block. He can get your points at the paint. He just does everything for the Baylor Bears. And a lot of people talk about Perry Jones. Isaiah Austin, I think, is better than Perry Jones.
Wow. Anderson deflected that entry pass to a quick turnover. Then Anderson gets it at the other end. Count it, and the foul on Austin. So let's count the number of good things Anderson has done in the first 24 seconds. Deflection, basket, and a foul.
Ryan Anderson so good at utilizing the back cut in that situation. He has such a high basketball IQ. You know, Bob, I got a chance to talk to an NBA scout before this game started, and he wasn't giving a direct comparison, but he said that Ryan Anderson could be a poor man's Kevin Love. He always finds a way to get offensive rebounds. He always finds some way to knock down a big-time jump shot here and there, and that's what Ryan Anderson brings to the table, that work ethic and that skill offensively.
Much shorter version of Kevin Love and a very different type body. Heslop, you don't want to give him an uncontested shot from the perimeter. And Jackson will be called for the charge. He penetrated and dished and gets called for the foul. BC coached by Steve Donahue, who pretty much tore up the blueprint and started over at BC. Had a very young team a year ago, has a young team again this year, but he is absolutely convinced that the Eagles are doing things the right way, and he's very optimistic about the future.
Still the youngest team in the ACC. In the media preseason poll, they were picked to finish last. I don't think that's going to happen. This team has players that can score. They can defend by committee. Prime example right there, that charge on Pierre Jackson.
There's a bump on A.J. Walton. So here we are 1 minute and 2 seconds in, and Baylor has already committed 3 team fouls.
Bob, every time Pierre Jackson gets the basketball, you are going to see 5 white jerseys all focused on his penetration. If he drives into the lane and leaves his feet, the chances are pretty high a player from Boston College will take a charge.
Lonnie Jackson missing the corner jumper. Rebound on a hop to Walton. Quickly, it's Jackson, defended by Olivier Hanlon. Austin shoots the 3. Rebound inside Jefferson, and he's stripped.
Can you imagine that? That's like Kevin Durant. Player 6'11", 7 feet, giving you a jab step on the outside and has the ability to knock down a 3-point shot.
Anderson with the miss, and Jackson chases down the rebound on a bounce. Use the Austin screen and the step back jumper.
Dennis Clifford, if you're in that situation, if your man gets separated from Pierre Jackson and you're forced to stay, you have to stay with Pierre Jackson. You cannot worry about your man rolling. The opposite defender has to rotate over and help. You cannot leave Pierre Jackson.
Entry pass stolen by Walton, has Heslop to the right for the pop-up 3. Rebound Jefferson. Just like that, Baylor with back-to-back baskets and a 1-point lead.
Boston College is pretty much a big team, but they will not be able to win this game if they allow Baylor to get offensive rebounds. Instead of watching the flight of the ball, you need to find a green jersey and box them out.
The pull-up jumper by Hanlon, no good. Rebound in the lane to Jefferson, and an over-the-back foul will be called on number 24, Clifford. His first and number 1 on the Eagles. A year ago, Jay, Boston College was a terrible rebounding team. 326th in the country in rebounding margin.
As bad as they were, Bob, they were great in moments as well. This is still a Boston College team that, wow, talk about stopping me mid-sentence. Pierre Jackson getting to the rim with the up and under finish, and that's what you cannot allow him to do. But back to Boston College, they beat Florida State last year. They beat a team that won the ACC, so they do have the ability to win big-time ball games.
Entry pass deflected by Walton. Jackson sets up Heslop. The putback by Austin. Rebound Clifford, who touched it last. BC did. It'll stay at Baylor's end of the floor with a new shot clock.
And Pierre Jackson is so good at changing speeds. He comes off the screen and roll. Nobody helps, and you try to take the charge right there. He just does a great job of adjusting his body and finishing without even making contact.
Jackson, the preseason Big 12 Player of the Year, on the watch list, entering the season for the Wooden Award, the Naismith Award. He's a senior. It's his second and final year at Baylor.
I also think Pierre Jackson is starting to understand the game. You know, as you get older, the game becomes slower, and you understand that you do not need to play the game at 100 miles an hour. Your ability to change speeds is what makes Pierre Jackson a very special player.
Hanlon rebounds the Walton miss. Clifford contested by Austin. Here comes the double team. Anderson for three.
Corey Jefferson with a really lazy closeout right there. Ryan Anderson is a player that can really stretch the defense with his ability to knock down a three-point shot. If anything, you have to come and close out with that hand extended, trying to deter the vision of Mr. Anderson.
Anderson made the ACC All-Freshman team a year ago. He was absolutely the heart and soul of this very young Boston College team. Jackson to Heslop for three. Rebound by Hanlon, his second straight defensive rebound. Rahan down low. Anderson went at Jefferson and used the rim as a shield. Tough to block that shot, Jay, when you go around the other side of the rim. Jackson drove and hung in the air and made the tough shot.
Needs to be more communication by Boston College. If you get hit by a screen and there's another guard there, you yell switch. If it's a guard and big in the screen, you need to tell the big he needs to hedge. If the big steps back off the screen, Pierre Jackson is going to be in a one-on-one with the big, and that's game over.
Reach and foul on Walton, his second, and 4 on the team.
We said it before. You got to close out with Mr. Anderson. He calls for the basketball and finds a way to finish over the trees down low.
It's the second of 4 games on the opening day of the Charleston Classic. Colorado beat Dayton in the opener. Early in this one, Baylor and Boston College tied at 8. Early foul trouble for the Bears. A.J. Walton, one of their 3 guards in the lineup, already with 2 fouls, and Baylor already with 4 team fouls.
A.J. Walton is the glue guy on this team. He can play backup point guard. He can knock down the tray. Also defensively, he's a lockdown defender. They need him in this ball game.
3 new faces on the floor for Baylor out of the timeout. Number 14, Deuce Bello. Number 4, Gary Franklin. And number 2, Rico Gathers, who was built built like an outside linebacker.
And if you want to talk about some of the high risers in the game of college basketball, you got Doug Anderson. That's a name you need to pay attention to, plays for Detroit. You got Jakar Sampson, who plays for St. John's. And then you have Deuce Bella, who plays for the Baylor Bears. This young man can jump out of the gym, Bob.
And he did at Midnight Madness, as you will see later on in this broadcast. Anderson tried to draw the contact, didn't, but he made the shot anyway. So far, it's Ryan Anderson 10 and Baylor 8.
Ryan Anderson is so good. He has such a knack for being around the basketball. And then on top of just being around the basketball, he has great hands. Doesn't matter if you dart a pass at him or not. He'll find some way to catch it and finish in traffic.
Gathers with the miss. Pierre Jackson dove for the ball, couldn't get it. And here comes Boston College. Number 33, Patrick Hegman, sophomore from Germany, in the lineup for the Eagles. That's Heckman, got by Bello, and then switched hands nicely.
A poor closeout right there by Deuce Bello. He's not a shooter. He's going to want to drive the basketball. You got to force him towards the baseline, and help needs to rotate over.
2 offensive rebounds already this possession for Baylor, and it gives Franklin a chance to nail the 3. Franklin, a young man in his first year in the Baylor program, started out at Cal and then transferred. He was 1 for 8 in his first 2 games before nailing that shot. Looked like Jefferson got a piece of that shot, and here comes Jackson the other way. Jackson with the pull-up 3.
Bob, you know what that's called? That's called hand down, man down. When Pierre Jackson brings the ball up like that in transition, you cannot play with your hands down defensively. You have to have active hands. You have to keep him guessing what you're going to try to dictate to him defensively. If you don't, he's going to pull up right in your face. If not, he's going to get you up in the air and drive right by you.
Jackson 4 for 4, has scored 9 points. Anderson with the miss, the offensive rebound by Clifford, and then knocked over the end line by Baylor, and a fresh 35 on the shot clock for Baylor. Isaiah Austin back on the floor for Baylor, the highly touted freshman. We'd like to welcome those of you who have been watching UNC Asheville in Tennessee. We're at the Charleston Classic at the TD Arena. I'm Bob Picozzi, along with former Duke great Jay Williams. Game 2 here in Charleston, and Baylor with an early 14-12 lead over Boston College. And the tip-in will tie it.
Bob, one of the big factors in this ball game is how the freshman guards for Boston College guard Pierre Jackson. He has 9 out of the 14 points already in this ball game, and he's done it in a plethora of ways. He can get you off balance and attack the rim, and he's also knocked down the tray already. And
Ryan Anderson has scored 10 of Boston College's 14 points. 33, Patrick Heckman has scored the other 4. Gary Franklin to Bello, a contested 3.
And Deuce Bello has a chance to be an exceptional player at Baylor. I said it before, everybody obviously got tuned in. If there are 3 guys, as far as high risers in the game of college basketball that you need to watch.
Look out, look out.
Maybe he's one, huh? You got Jakar Sampson of St. John's, you got Doug Anderson of Detroit, and you have Deuce Bello of Baylor. Can absolutely jump out of the gym.
The gather, steal, and stuff makes it a 5-point Baylor lead. Anderson with the miss, and the rebound pulled down by Isaiah Austin, the highly regarded freshman center for the Bears. Bello to Franklin. Back up top to Franklin, who's already knocked down a 3. Austin backing in on the much shorter Eddie Odio. Looked like Austin just tried to draw the foul and didn't. Heckman to Odio. In and out of the hands of Heckman, and here comes Jackson. Look out. Bello with the miss, and the rebound pulled down by Odio. Here's Hanlon looking to go to Rayhan. Pull up 3.
Good spot up right there by Rayhan, not to drive the ball in, but to keep the floor space and to knock down the 3-point shot. But Bob, I firmly believe this. I think Baylor is a better team this year than they were last year. I know they lose pieces with Quincy Miller going to the NBA. You have Quincy Acey as well with Perry Jones getting drafted by Oklahoma City. But I like this team with, you got Gathers down low, you got Gary Franklin in the lineup now, Deuce Bello, and Pierre Jackson obviously is a great talent.
Rayhan called for the charge after releasing the pass. That's his first and 2 on the team.
Well, Baylor loves to play defense. They get in the passing lanes, and if you did not know the name Rico Gathers, you better know it now.
ESPNU's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Foster Grant. ESPNU's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Foster Grant. Who's that behind those Foster Grants? And in part by Gildan. We make your favorite activewear, underwear, and socks. Gildan, every thread counts. ESPN. ESPNU's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Foster Grant. Who's that behind those Foster Grants? And in part by Gildan. We make your favorite activewear, underwear, and socks. Gildan, every thread counts.
Lively crowd here at the TD Arena on day 1 of the Charleston Classic. It's Baylor by 2 over Boston College. Each team has a terrific player who figures to be among the best players in their respective league as we update our one-on-one. And we're talking about Pierre Jackson for Baylor and Ryan Anderson for the BC Eagles.
Pierre Jackson already with 9 points in this game, and he's done it in a variety of ways, getting to the rim and knocking down a couple of threes. I think of Ryan Anderson, a lot of scouts I've heard compare him to be a poor man's Kevin Love. He doesn't have the same build, but he does have the ability to finish around the rim and also knock down the three-point shot as well.
He scored BC's first 10 points today. Number 4, Gary Franklin on the floor. A.J. Walton picked up 2 early fouls and has been on the bench. Isaiah Austin, nice soft touch for the big fella.
A lot of people have compared Isaiah Austin to the likes of Kevin Durant for the fact that being 6'11", 7 foot tall, he can jab step you on the perimeter and knock down the three. He can also take a smaller post player on the block and do his thing. Just such a talent. And has such a high ceiling.
Austin sprained his ankle on opening night, didn't play in the second game of the year. Lonnie Jackson with the miss and Austin with the rebound. Pierre Jackson looking for 12 points.
And Boston College is going to be in trouble if they continue to let Pierre Jackson dance with the basketball. I know he is exceptionally quick, but you have to dictate a way to him. You have to either force him left or force him right, but you can't give him that much space. He's too fast. If you give him that much space, he can dance with the ball, blow by you, or he can pull up for a three right in your face.
Patrick Heckman misses the three. Okay, now having said that, with that in mind, how in the world do you guard a guy? You know the guy can go by you almost whenever he wants, so don't you have to give him some room?
You have to give him a little bit of room, but you have to always play with your hand up. And if anything, you give him a little bit of room, but I still would like to see a guard. They're playing zone now, but I would like to see a guard crowd him. See, by playing zone, it allows him to hunt his shot, and you lose track of where he is defensively. And that's the one guy on this team that you do not want roaming around freely hunting his shot.
15 points for Jackson, preseason Big 12 Player of the Year.
Got a chance to talk to Paul Mills before this game, an assistant coach for the Baylor Bears, and we looked over and we saw Pierre Jackson smiling, and he said, Jason, this young man loves big-time moments. He thrives for it.
Eddie Odio with the tough shot in traffic. This is a Boston College team that has 3 sophomores and 2 freshmen in the starting lineup, coming off a team that went 9-22 a year ago and finished 9th in the ACC. Jackson, another 3, finally missed. Odio deflected the rebound to Heckman, and now BC looking for something in transition. Lonnie Jackson, deep 3, nothing but green shirts for the rebound. Bello reverses it. Jackson with a tough catch in the corner. He goes baseline, and his pass was batted away by Clifford. Here's Austin putting it on the deck and drawing the foul from Odio. The Puerto Rico tip-off also coming your way today. Early action, Oklahoma State beat Akron, and Tennessee over UNC Asheville. Coming up next on ESPN2 will be North Carolina State and Penn State. And then the last game of the night, Providence and UMass. And that's a UMass team, Jay, that had a win in one of the most exciting of the dozen games in the tip-off marathon on Tuesday.
Chaz Williams, one of the top guards in the A-10, so fast with the basketball, has Pierre Jackson type speed, and then Jesse Morgan, a player that can create off the dribble, off the bounce, do so many things for Derek Kellogg's UMass team. The A-10 is absolutely loaded. We said it during our first game. We got a chance to do the Dayton game, Dayton versus Colorado, and Colorado won. But the A-10 has a chance to get 7 to 8 teams into the NCAA tournament. That's how deep and talented that conference is.
And the A-10 expanded this year from 14 to 16 teams, and all they did was add Butler and VCU, 2 teams who were in the same Final Four 2 years ago. Dayton picked 8th in the A-10 preseason poll, and the Flyers lost to Colorado in our opener today.
And St. Joseph's, they returned 5 starters led by Carl Tay Jones, another dynamic quick guard in the conference as well.
At the line is Rico Gathers. His dad, a cousin of the late Hank Gathers, the great Loyola Marymount player.
What I love about Rico is that every time in transition when he runs down the court, he's looking at the thighs of the opposing big man for the reason that he's going to crack into the thighs and this way get great position down low on the block. And he has really big hands, and his hands are always being shown, which means he wants the ball. He's giving you a target where to throw the basketball. That's what exactly you want from your big man every possession.
Jay, he's got big everything. Look at his shoulders. Looks like he forgot to take the coat hanger out when he put the uniform shirt on. Dwight Howard shoulders. Down low, Andrew Van Ness wearing the goggles. Backed his way in and switched hands nicely.
Right, I got to say this. Love Rico Gathers, but that was really bad acting. When you outweigh the player offensively by 50 pounds, there's no way you're going to take a flopping charge right there. That was the NBA. You would get fined.
The new rule, yeah. This is Torian Prince lining up the 3. The rebound deflected over the baseline by Gathers. So it'll be a 7-point Baylor lead. The winner of this one gets Colorado in the semifinals tomorrow afternoon. You are watching ESPN College Basketball from the Charleston Classic, presented by Foster Grant. And Jay, on our way from the hotel here today, we could have used Foster Grant's. Unfortunately, that was about the only 5 minutes that we've seen since we've been here in Charleston where we've seen the sun come out. But we're very confident that tomorrow's another day.
I got off the plane. I had my T-shirt on. I thought it was going to be 75, 80 degrees. I get here, it's 45 degrees. That's not Charleston.
Well, but would you rather be in Charleston when it's cloudy or somewhere else?
Agreed. 100% right here in Charleston.
A destination city, this beautiful location. It's historic, it's quaint, it's charming, and it's a home of some pretty good basketball today, tomorrow, and Sunday. 4 games each day. Baylor red hot from the floor, mostly because of Pierre Jackson. The shot no good, last touched by the shooter, number 21, Olivier Hanlon. I asked Steve Donahue yesterday at practice, I said, how nervous are you going into the Baylor game starting 2 freshman guards? And he said, well, I started 2 freshman guards last year.
He told me during the ESPNU segment one time that, listen, Jay, it can't get any worse. It can only get better from here on out.
Let me tell you something. Steve Donahue is absolutely confident in his ability to coach and his ability to turn this BC program around.
Well, he has an absolute star in this young man right here. Ryan Anderson can do so many things with the basketball, but one of the areas that Baylor still needs to improve on is communication. When Pierre Jackson, your best player right there, is putting pressure on the ball, you need Duspello or somebody back there to talk to him and tell him that a screen is coming. Ryan Anderson is trying to take him out right there with a hard set screen. You cannot allow your best player to get hit like that if he's trying to apply full court pressure.
Who did you run into when you were the recipient of the toughest screen of your career as Hanlon knocks down the 3?
The biggest person I ran into where I got knocked out was Shaquille O'Neal. I got knocked out, and the first person I yelled at when I got it was Tyson Chandler. Not anybody else, because he should have been the one to call the screen out.
Here's the turnover.
Plus, I would have taken my chances with Tyson over Shaquille O'Neal.
You think? Nice penetration. And getting the layup was number 15, Andrew Van Nest, the transfer from Harvard. He's a graduate student finishing up his college eligibility by using his last year at BC. Jackson lost the handle, couldn't touch it again, or else it would have been a double dribble, and it results in the turnover. So just like that, you look up and BC's down 2 with 5:40 to go in the first half against the 16th ranked team in the country. Jackson with the lightning quick hands. Look out, what's he going to do here?
Well, Jackson got away with the foul right there. That was a foul. That wasn't a good steal. He got absolutely the whole hand of the Boston College player. They should have called that a foul.
He's got 17 of Baylor's 30 points. Hanlon. Low block Anderson. One-on-one. Spins nicely on Prince.
Woo! How about that? That's what I love about Ryan Anderson. He catches the ball on the block. He takes his time. He feels where he has an angle on the defender. Quick spin. And instead of trying to go up and use the backboard, he goes strong with 2 hands and tries to finish over the top of the defender.
Heslop's a much different shooter when someone has a hand in his face. Here comes Hanlon. BC with a chance to tie or go ahead with a 3. Danny Rubin gives Boston College the lead. Timeout, Scott Drew. In chatting with Steve Donahue yesterday, Jay, I asked him now, what kind of tempo do you think is best for your team? Not necessarily against Baylor. He said, that's a work in progress, Bob, and we will often, our offense will dictate the tempo at the other end.
Well, it was a great rebound by Ryan Anderson first, and then an even better push by Hanlon. And then Rayhan, with his hands ready to shoot, catch the ball in rhythm. And that's how you want to play if you're Boston College. You don't want to make this a frantic pace game. You want to run your sets, but when you do get a chance to run, you want to pick your spots wisely.
This is the bracket here at the Charleston Classic. In Game 1, Colorado beat Dayton 67-57. Career-high 16 points for Askia Booker. Colorado will meet the winner of Baylor-Boston College in the first semifinal tomorrow. Still to come tonight, St. John's with their spectacular newcomer Jakar Sampson will take on a College of Charleston team. They have Andrew Lawrence from the Great Britain Olympic team. than Murray State first-team All-American Isaiah Cannon against Auburn.
You know, I got a chance to talk to Isaiah Cannon last night after I spoke to some of the players, and I asked him, I said, Isaiah, what drives you? And he's like, you know what, Jason, I've always been the underdog my entire life, and now I'm finally starting to get recognition, but it's still not good enough. I want to be the best, and I prepare every single day to try to be the best.
Austin with the putback to put Baylor back on top. Cannon decided to stick around for his senior year. It's been a tremendous run for Murray State, which has won 3 straight Ohio Valley Conference titles.
Isn't it amazing what the game of college basketball has came to? When you look at your first or second team All-American, you got guys like Mike Moser from UNLV, CJ McCollum from Lehigh, and you got Isaiah Cannon from Murray State. I mean, you have a lot of guys that are from mid-majors who are first team All-American. Yeah, exactly, Greg McDermott.
The block shot by Jefferson. 9 to shoot for Boston College when we return with Baylor leading by 1. Thank you very much, Dari. Here in Charleston, game number 2. The Boston College Eagles hanging in there despite a spectacular first half performance by the Bears' incomparable Pierre Jackson.
And Pierre Jackson, PJ, is so special of a basketball player. Look at his ability right there to maneuver mid-air, knock down the shot. Also right there, if you go under on the screen and roll, can knock down the shot. Don't understand why a Boston College player would leave him. And then in transition, look at him. He's like a speeding bullet right here. Cuts the player off, gets to the rim. 7 of 8 from the field, 17 points. And the mixture of speed and high basketball IQ is a very, very dangerous combination.
Out of the timeout, Joe Rahan missed the long three, but chasing down the rebound was Andrew Van Ness. Steve Donahue told me at BC practice yesterday that Pierre Jackson can go by defenders faster than any guard in the country. Anderson set the screen and then rolls. Wow. What made that play work?
That young man is fearless, absolutely fearless. The fact that a lot of bigs would have came into those trees and tried to finish some way around them or up and under them, but Ryan Anderson has the athletic ability to finish over the top.
He's got 14 of Boston College's 33 points. Down low, rebounded by Heckman following the Jefferson miss. It's been a very quiet first half for Corey Jefferson, who's averaging 20 points and 10 rebounds per game in the first 2 games. Has just 2 points today. They rolled again. Anderson set the screen, got it back, this time the jumper.
And Hanlon and Anderson are absolutely destroying Baylor in screen and roll scenarios. Isaiah Austin keeps trapping Hanlon, and Ryan Anderson is a recipient and knocking down every shot.
That was all about reading the defense, that play?
All about reading the screen and roll.
Austin, entry pass sloppily thrown and intercepted by Van Ness. Donnie Jackson will hand to Rayhan. Rayhan gives to Heckman. Van Ness for 3. And just like that, Boston College has run off 7 straight points.
I told you before that Boston College was picked to finish last in the ACC, and that is not going to happen this year with this basketball team. They are too talented and too hungry to finish last.
First 2 points of the game for Heslop, who actually began his career at Boston College, was there 1 year, did not play, and then transferred to Baylor. Kick out Heckman, another 3. Rebound Jefferson. Jackson, long pass up the floor. Heslop, catch and shoot.
Well, Heslop shooting over 40% from the three-point line. He's the one guy that you have to find in transition. If Pierre Jackson has the ball, the first guard back needs to take Heslop, who just hunts the three-point line and spots up to knock down the tray.
Ryan Anderson does everything for this Boston College team, Jay.
And Hanlon just makes the job so much easier on Ryan Anderson. You're going to see right here involved in a screen and roll scenario. Just delivers a nice pass. And that's the athletic ability I was talking about before with Ryan Anderson. I mean, going over the top of Mr. Jefferson, going into the lane like a grown man.
I wonder what that feels like.
I couldn't tell you, my friend. I couldn't tell you.
There are the numbers. Jackson and Anderson have absolutely dominated the first half for their respective teams. And it's a Boston College 1-point lead. ESPN College Basketball is available live anytime, anywhere on your computer, tablet, or smartphone at WatchESPN.com and with the Watch ESPN app.
Look at those two great coaches right there. That was a heck of a ball game the other night, huh?
Yeah, they hooked up in Atlanta. Champions Classic, a terrific nightcap.
And
Terrific first game, too, between Michigan State and Kansas.
Michigan State changed on a long trip from Germany. When I got a chance to see that first game against UConn, Keith Applin really stepped up.
Out of the timeout, boy, Steve Donahue dialed something up, and the Eagles executed to perfection.
What a difference a year makes with the basketball team. Last year when I saw Boston College play, at times they looked very frantic. They allowed the defense to speed them up. Not so far in this game. Really taking their time, poised on the offensive end, and really executing their sets.
Jackson, dribbled off his foot. Heslop's got the last 5 Baylor points. Shoots the runner and will draw the foul.
That's a tough foul right there, but great job by Van Ness getting up to really kind of extend on that screen and show hard to deter Pierre Jackson from taking that 3. Pierre Jackson has had his way involved in screen and rolls. Usually Boston College was playing it before where the big would drop off and the guard would try to go under. And like I said to you before, you cannot allow Pierre Jackson to have that much space to dance with the basketball.
Heslop knocks down the first free throw. Jackson was the National Junior College Player of the Year at Southern Idaho. Led them to a national championship, was the most valuable player in the tournament. Then came to Baylor and led the Bears to the Elite Eight a year ago. And entering this season is the preseason choice for Big 12 Player of the Year.
Got some great battles to watch in the Big 12 between Baylor and Kansas. Even though Kansas lost the other night, they're still a really good basketball team with Jeff Whitley down low.
Kansas picked first in the Big 12 preseason poll, and Baylor picked second. Heslop comes from a very athletic family. His dad, Tom, is a member of the University of Guelph Athletic Hall of Fame. That's in Ontario. And his uncle, Jay Triano, coached the Toronto Raptors.
The scary thing is that what happens if Baylor got Quincy Miller back? Quincy Miller is in the D-League right now. But if this young man came back, Baylor might be the favorite to win a national title.
Bears lost Quincy Miller, Quincy Acey, Perry Jones III.
Perry Jones III has a great teacher in Oklahoma City, and Kevin Durant. Games are very similar. How about that for Scott Drew, too? I mean, you bring in guys like Perry Jones, and then you get Isaiah Austin. They almost mirror images of each other. I think Isaiah Austin might have another gear mentally, though. I think he might have more of a killer instinct that he can develop more so than what Perry Jones did. I think at times Perry Jones turned that switch off.
Yep. Scott Drew told us yesterday that Austin can impact the game with his length and shot blocking, and he's stronger than he looks. That last foul was on Jefferson, his first and 6 on Baylor. Shot clock is off. Final 20 seconds of the half. It's been a great first half for BC.
And look at that, Austin talking to his point guard.
And Bello with the steal. Look out. Remember, he can jump. Hits the shot. Still plenty of time. If BC hurries, they have 4. They got to go. Here's Anderson from half court at the buzzer.
Is this the Matrix? That was Mr. Anderson right there. We told you could do it from everywhere on the floor, inside and out.
But I thought you were only kidding when you said from everywhere.
I mean,
That's the everywhere right there.
The recognition right there to understand that the time is dwindling down. And, I mean, that wasn't a heave. That was almost a jump shot as well.
19 first half points for Ryan Anderson, 17 for Pierre Jackson. At the half, it's Boston College 43 and Baylor 41. Now let's go to Matt Schuck in the studio for the ESPNU halftime report. Matt?
It's all